Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Mick and my daughter has stage 4 cancer. There's a reason for doing this video. I've just been on holiday with my daughter and we were sat chatting one night. It's the first time in a long time I've been away on holiday with her. Probably 8 years, 6-8 years, and we were sat down talking and she says, I don't know why you've never done anything on YouTube about it. I have a couple of YouTube channels. The other one's a lot more successful than this one from a different sort of angle. And she said, I'm surprised you've never actually put anything on there. I said, well, why would I put anything on there? Well, she said, you know, you're a year into it nearly. Oh, we are a year into it. And just imagine if anything that you said helped somebody, you know, another father that had just found out that his daughter was terminally ill. And I sort of got to thinking, to be honest, and I've been thinking about it for a while. You don't like to lay too much out there, and I'm certainly not doing it for views or likes or comments, but what I'm actually doing it for is for the person who was like me last May, trying to deal with the fact that you thought that your daughter might have breast cancer, and then going on in September to find out that your daughter actually had stage 4 cancer, and it was probably the thing that was going to end her life. So, here I am. If it's helping you, that's why I'm here. This is why I'm here. This is why I've turned up. If there's one father out there looking through today to find out what it's going to be like, or not how to deal with it, because you don't deal with it, but if this gives some comfort to a father who was in the mess I was in last year, then so be it. Let's do it in chapters. It'll be easy to break it down. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So, chapter 1, friends. Friends are an amazing thing. We've had friends, sort of mid to late 50s. My wife's slightly older. She won't thank me for telling you that, but and we've had friends all our life. And as you get older, life gets busier. You don't really get a chance to mix as much, especially since Lou's been ill. We don't get a chance to mix as much as what we did. But the first thing that did happen was, as soon as they all found out, they're there for you 100%. And sometimes it's just a kind word, or do you need anything? Or when you see them, for me personally, I've always been a bit of a sort of cuddler. And people come up and give you the biggest hugs, and you really know exactly what they're feeling without them even saying it. And then, you know, and off they go. And it does make you feel slightly better. Obviously, there's when it first happened, we had one or two people pop up. That one lady came round, and she's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry about what's happened." I said, "Have you spoke to Lou?" She said, "Oh, she hadn't spoke to her for a long time," and we hadn't spoke to her for a long time. And I just thought, well, in my hour of need, why are you here then? Really, suppose people just really want to do something rather than nothing. But you know, people can be, in that case, slightly over-friendly, where they complicate things beyond. I mean, the families as well have been absolutely amazing. I've got two brothers, they're absolutely amazing. My wife's got 3 brothers, and she's in contact with all 3 of them, but 2 of them came out. We were in Spain the other week, and they came out to surprise my wife for her 60th birthday, because nobody's ever given her a surprise. She's always been the one that's you know, helped everybody out and sorted everybody out. And they popped round to surprise her on her 60th birthday, which was an amazing thing. And it's just heartwarming that they did it. And it was lovely to spend some time with them in a different country as well, and just relax and talk about something other than cancer, to be really honest. I'm part of a bigger community on my other YouTube channel, and they all club together initially, because obviously if you do get a diagnosis like that, work sort of stops there. You're going for treatment, you're probably not really set up for it at 41 years old. Nobody's got a load of money in the bank at that age. In fact, in a lot of cases, nobody's got a lot of money in the bank anyway. Then all of a sudden employment stops, bills are still there. You've got the worry of your illness and you've got the worry of having no money as well to pay your way. And quite a few people all got together from the community I'm involved in and just from everywhere. My daughter works within the NHS, and people went into a GoFundMe and put so much money in there, all under the idea of her being able to go out and make some memories with the children. She's got 4 children. And that's exactly what she's been doing. She's been to Australia to her friends, which would have been a trip that she would never have made, or she wouldn't have been able to make for a few years. And now she's been able to make the trip and make the memories of the trip, and took the kids over there and had a cracking time. The photos were amazing. Also, just different. She's just been away this weekend with her other friends. Some of them from school, and like she's 41 years old, and she's still close with a lot of the people that she went to school with, and they've all just been away and had a cracking weekend. And it's making yourself happy and just doing what you can while you still can. And as a parent, that also makes you. It gives you a buzz. It really does give you a fuzzy, warm glow. For the amount of affection that people hold for her, it just gives you this fuzzy, warm glow and makes you feel so good about yourself. And you can't beat it. You can't beat the feeling that somebody is actually interested in one of your children. Is just absolutely just amazing. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing the way people have done it. Chapter 2: Disappointments and not suffering fools gladly. Now, as I've said, my daughter is in her early 40s, and by the time you get to 40, you've usually had a couple of relationships in your life. My daughter was married once, and then split up, and then met somebody else, and had 2 more children with him. Now, this is what we're going to talk about in this chapter. Disappointment and not suffering fools gladly. Now, the first one thinks he's got away with it, but it's about time that he knows I'm not very happy with him. It's understandable when you split up with a partner or a husband. There's always one side of the relationship that didn't really want to split up, or didn't think they wanted to split up. They were quite happy to limp along in that way forever. But and sadly, that in real life that doesn't actually happen. So obviously, my daughter split up with her husband, and you have to go through the different things in life. You have to have a divorce and a settlement and whatever's going on. And that's that. So for a while you must not like each other, or certainly the one that didn't want the relationship to end doesn't like the other one. But there must come to a time when you've got 2 children with somebody, and those children are older as well, that must die down. The animosity must die down. But not for some people. But you would think, when I've always thought that when somebody gets a diagnosis like that, regardless of anything, all bets must be off. Regardless of whether you think that you didn't benefit financially, or you lost out financially, or the other one left you and you hate to guts, or and there must come to a time as an adult that you must actually get. You must think that. I've got two children with this lady, and once upon a time we were really close, and I absolutely loved her. And would it be a bit of a help to her if I popped round and had a cup of tea and even just discussed the future of the oldest 2 children? Why would you not? Why would you not just pop round there, get rid of all the animosity from the breakup of the relationship? Just sit down. Nothing's going to get any better. Your point scoring is now over, and isn't it just time that you just thought, let's just sit down, let's make this for the children, the 2 children we have together, let's just make this as smooth as possible. And why can't we be mates? But for some people, that's not possible, and I think it's a bit pathetic. So we'll move on from that one to the next one. Obviously, my daughter is now single. She lives on her own. I'm quite happy that she's on her own because I didn't like him in the first place, and I never have liked him, and I never will like him. It's not for me to choose my daughter's partners. It's up for my daughter to choose her partners. Because she's a grown woman. So what you have to do, you go along with everything and you try and stand back and leave them to it. But now we've got to a point where we've got, I think sometimes, let's say, in modern life, we've got adult children who in their mid to late 40s still have to think, they've still got ego and libido and everything gets in the way. And you've got to be right. And regardless of what happens to the person who's got stage 4 cancer, you've got to keep pushing on and make sure that everybody knows that, it's all her fault. And it was, you've done everything for her. And even though that's not true, you've got to keep doing it. You've got to keep going on about it. And generally make life as miserable as possible for her. I blame the mothers, I'll be honest. I think there's a group of adults that never grew up, and a group of mothers that never actually said to their adult sons, isn't it time you grew up a bit, really? Have you realised what you're doing? If my son was behaving like this person behaves, I would be the first person to have a word with him, pull him to one side and say, by the way, we're not very proud of you at the moment. You're acting like an absolute dick. But no. What you've got to do is you've got to sit back and pretend, it's your son's ex-partner's fault. But no, they don't do. That's what they choose to do, and then complain that you don't go across there, even though you can't get up some mornings because you're absolutely worn out with the effects of radio and chemotherapy. Just sit back and tell everybody that she's just not trying hard enough. Recently she went over to Australia, I think I said in one of the chapters, to see a friend of ours, or a friend of hers, should I say, to make memories and have the holiday of a lifetime. They weren't getting on too well before they went away, so off they went. So Mummy's boy decides he wants to play up for the full 2 weeks and try and ruin as much of it as he possibly could, which also involved texting my wife at early hours of the morning, staying up all night, getting drunk in somebody else's house and being a genuine big Shirley. What can you say? And he's old enough, he's got 4 children, and he behaves worse than the youngest one. That is also very, very, very upsetting. Obviously, you want your daughter to have the best she can possibly have for a final period of her life. And that just causes stress all the time. You could do without it. You can absolutely do without it. But I say, if you're a mother of a young boy or a teenage boy and he's not behaving as he should be, please be the first one to pull him up, because otherwise when he gets in his 40s he's still going to be behaving just the same. There's a lot of adult males that never turn into men. They just carry on through this quest in life just to prove that they're right at everything and you were wrong and they're special and you're not. So watch out for that if you have a son, and hopefully you'll not inflict your spawn on somebody else's daughter. So here we go with chapter 3. You can't change anything. You cannot change anything. Not one thing. You can't cure cancer. When your child used to come in and they'd scrape the knee, used to put a plaster on it, get them better. When they'd had a row with somebody outside, or somebody was trying to, when the kids and they're fighting and beating each other up, used to go outside and tell them to go away. When they split up with a boyfriend or partner and they come in and they're all upset, you sit down and you just go through things with them, give them a chance to process it in their brain and see where they want to go next. When they tell you that they've got stage 4 cancer, you can't do anything. You can't fix it. You can't fix cancer. All you can do is try and help. When I first heard, I had all sorts of thoughts in my head. You have really dark thoughts, not that you're ever going to act on them, but the initial thing is, how can I get away with them to deal with this? I think it's just a normal reaction. You think, I can't process this, I can't miss that person, I can't watch them be ill, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, you can. And as an adult and as a father, it's part of your job. When you agree to bring somebody into this world, it's part of your job. It's really easy to run away and say, I can't do it. That's where the crying comes in. That's where all the tissues come in. You end up misty-eyed a lot, and it's very, very difficult sometimes to actually get through different parts of different days. But you have to do it. It's your job. You've got it to do. And I'm not saying stiff upper lip, and I'm not saying anything like that, but this is your job. This is what you do. They need support. You need to help them, and you need to help them as much as possible. And a lot of times it's not financially, because none of us have got that much money that you can pay for somebody else's life. Sometimes it's just that 5 minutes and that cup of tea and just giving them a chance just to vent, or just be themselves for a minute or two. Just take the kids out of the way while they just get their head together. That's basically your job, what you can do. That's what you can do for them. And it's the thoughts, the initial thoughts where you're thinking all sorts of things will disappear. And then all of a sudden, the drive comes back of being a parent, the one that got you up in the morning to feed him, and the one that, made you keep their eye on him to keep him safe. It'll come back. And you will keep going, and you will look after him. Because that's what you do as a father. That's what I do as a father. I'm not saying everybody else does it as a father. But you can't change anything, and that is all you can do. I think that's one of the worst things for me, is that you can't change it. You can't make it better. You feel useless, even though you're not. Well, she might think I am. But that's the worst thing for me. It's the fact. Because even with my children, with them being older, I've been really close to them, and I've never been scared to give them the other option. They'll come to me and they'll tell me, my dad used to do it with me, they'll tell me all sorts of things, why they think this should be. And I'll sometimes go devil's advocate and say, well, what if this other person's thinking that? It's not going to really work out. And sometimes you can see that if I'd have encouraged them to carry on with that thought, it wouldn't have got through, because sometimes they're being unreasonable. But you cannot change the diagnosis of stage 4 cancer. All you can do is try your absolute hardest to do what you can for them. And then if something does happen, all you can do then is try and pass that on. We've got younger grandchildren, we've got older grandchildren, and they'll need a cuddle. They'll need help throughout their lives. And that's all you can do for them. So that's the end of this video. Normally at the end of my videos, I try and attract people to like and subscribe and all this sort of thing, but that's not the case of this one today. If you're going through what we're going through, if you've been through what we're going through, please feel free to comment in the comments. As I say, this video is not about liking and subscribing. It's just about my thoughts at this particular time. There is a reason that I'm making this video, because we're 2 days away from the next scan. And it absolutely, knocks you for six. When you're waiting for this, the last week's not been easy, and it does put you back, and you're just hoping that the next scan's going to come back, and she's going to be able to carry on till the next one. And that's all we can hope for at the minute. So we'll catch you all soon. Thanks for watching this video, and best of luck to everybody.